Hello, welcome to the Biblical Command series. My name is Debbie Adam, your host for today. Now, we're talking about how to grow in the place of prayer. First of all, what is your understanding of prayer? What's your understanding? What's your conviction about prayer? For me, prayer is a way of communicating with God. Prayer is a one-on-one conversation. Prayer is something that I do when I'm, in the house of God and when I'm not in the house of God, wherever I am, I pray. So I want to talk about this topic because I noticed that some Christians have been in a particular spot for too long. When it comes to prayer, they've been because they don't understand what prayer means, so they're not getting the effectiveness of the prayer. They are not getting product. Not yielding for them, and that's because they don't understand what prayer means, and they don't have an understanding of there is a relationship that you need to have with God before prayer can be effective. Prayer, and I must say that prayer is not something you do only when you feel like. Prayer is something that should be done whether you feel like it or not. Fine, there are ways you pray that it's an oversight of your personal mood or what you're doing at the point. For example, when I'm down or when I lack no strength, I tend to want to say, Lord, I need your strength, I need your help. And from there, you just notice that I'm praying. It might not necessarily be, oh God, but it's a conversation I'm having with my Father. And I'm saying, God, your word said, you shall strengthen me whenever I'm weak. The word said, your strength is made perfect. The word said, same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead, if he lies within me, he will bring my water bodies to life. So it means that at the end of the day, I will see prayer as something that is normal. It's not something I have to force because I have a relationship with God. So it's not that when I come to God and I say, God, I am praying now. When you are talking and when you are praying, it's a conversation. And it's still a form of prayer. It's just that, of course, there are different types of prayer. There are intercessory prayers, there are warfare prayers. There are different types of prayers, but everything is a conversation. Everything has to do with somebody talking to someone else. So if you're praying and you don't feel like you are communing with someone, you are communing with a supreme being, then you might feel like you are not praying. But there are times when you are actually praying and you don't feel like you are praying, you don't feel like something is happening, but you might be shocked that a lot of things that can be going on because the Bible says that, with prayer, tremendous power is made available. So there are times when you pray and you don't feel like you have prayed, but there's a deposit of God you've gotten, but because you don't feel like you have done so much, if your heart is in it, definitely you have gotten something. So now, effectiveness of prayer or how to get better. I noticed that some people they pray 30 minutes and they've been praying 30 minutes for a year. What should not be? Your prayer should grow. It should be something that is spontaneous also. There are times when I get nudges to pray, and what if I don't obey those nudges? What if I don't obey those leading? What happens? I might never know. But the thing that I observed is that the experiences you get in that impromptu leading of the Holy Spirit, it's amazing, it's dynamic, because you might never know, but God might be trying to do something in your life or in your friend's life or someone you're connected to. That's one thing I've noticed also. So another way to grow your prayer life with God, in your work with God, especially in times of prayer, is learning to obey the leading of the Holy Spirit, learning to obey Him when He says pray, or when you feel that nudge. There's a time when a Christian feels a nudge to pray, it is not abnormal. It's a normal thing for a Christian. So another thing is having retreat. Work on having personal time with God. Work on dedicating few hours to God, even if you don't have time for retreat or to go away from the house. Work on getting your alone time with God. It also goes a long way in affecting your prayer life. Another thing I've noticed is speaking in tongues. Personally, 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9 says that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor is there occurred to the heart of man, things that God has prepared for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. But he said, but the Spirit has revealed them through his Spirit in us, and the Spirit searches all things, even the things of God. I use the scripture to pray every time I'm confused, or every time I need to know the will of God pertaining to it. You know, speaking in tongues, people say, of course, it has been over flooded these days. You know, when they say speaking in tongues, you know, blah, 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 blah. Some people even say it and they don't mean it, and it might not be the Holy Spirit speaking, it might just be their flesh saying things or mumbling things. But speaking in tongues is a powerful gift that the Holy Spirit has given to us, because when you speak in tongues and when you speak, especially as inspired by the Holy Spirit, you speak the mind of Christ. You speak the will of God coming into establishment. You speak the will of God coming into manifestation. You know, there are times when I'm worried about things that I need to do, and I just speak in tongues. But when I speak in tongues, let me say this. When I speak in tongues, I would identify that it's the Holy Spirit that inspires me to pray. So as I'm speaking in tongues, I'm saying, Holy Spirit, as I'm speaking in tongues, I want you to inspire my prayer. There are times when I come to God and I don't have any prayer point, or I don't have anything to say, but I just say, Holy Spirit, I need you to inspire me to pray your will. I don't want to pray amiss. Lord, help me to pray the will of God. Help quicken my mortal bodies, Lord. Then, of course, when I pray that scripture about eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, but the Spirit has revealed them through his Spirit in us, it means that our spirit man knows what we are going to do in the next 5 years, next 2 years. Our spirit man knows, but we need to pray the will of God into our spirit man. We need to, I will say that prayer is like an alignment with the will of God. Fine, the Lord has blessed us with a lot of spiritual blessings in heavenly places, and a daily loads of the benefits. But if we don't align ourselves through prayer to the will of God that God has, you know, made for us, we might not see manifestation, because prayer is like saying, I am acting in accordance with what you have told me. So that's how prayer is. So about speaking in tongues, for me, when I speak in tongues, I like to admit that it's the Holy Spirit praying. It's the Holy Spirit praying, not me. When I'm speaking in tongues, it's the Holy Spirit praying through me. Of course, I'm just a vessel. So when I'm speaking in tongues, I know that the Holy Spirit is praying through me, and I'm not the one praying by myself. Also, when I speak in tongues, I speak mysteries. There are times when this day, I've been trusting God for the spirit of interpretation of tongues. You know, Paul says that if you are speaking in tongues and you are not prophesying, you are not helping your people. But when you speak in tongues, you are edifying yourself. But if you are speaking in tongues and you don't speak interpretation, for someone that is a Christian that has not grown, he would not understand what you are saying. But if you are speaking in tongues and you are interpreting your tongues, or you are prophesying, it means that you are edifying others. So there is a balance, and I've noticed that most Christians are still trying to figure out that balance, because they speak in tongues but they can't interpret tongues. Fine, it is a gift that it's not common. It's a gift that's not common, but the Bible says you should covet the best gift. So if you are coveting the best gift, it means that you can covet any gift that you don't presently have but you want to have. So lately, when I pray in tongues, I also pray for interpretation of tongues. And how do I get the interpretation of tongues? When I pray, I notice that after a while, when I've prayed in tongues, the Holy Spirit starts being light. It starts being the light of something that I should know. So at the end of the day, I tend to know, okay, this is what I was praying in the Spirit. This is what I was praying now. So at the end of the day, it might not be all together. It might not be all together, but you just have a sense of knowledge that this is what you pray for. I don't know if you understand. There are times when you pray in the Spirit for a while. If you ask God for interpretation of tongue, it might not come, let me now say this, it might not come immediately. It might not take, in fact, it might not take a week, it might not take, there are times when you have to watch and pray and keep praying for the best gift. But trust me, once you have it, it's not something that just comes upon you. It's something that you build with time. It takes practice. There are times when I will pray and ask God, I need to know the interpretation of all the things that He said, and it might never come. And there are days when I pray and suddenly I know the meaning, I just feel like there's just this knowing that I know all the things I prayed about. in the spirit, if the spirit of God kind of interpreted to me. So at that point, I got the interpretation of my tongues. Maybe not everything, but I got the interpretation of what I was praying about at that moment. So it's really important that every Christian should pray in tongues. I'm saying this and I'm not being all spooky with it, and I'm saying you should pray in tongues and so you just speak in tongues anyhow. No, when you speak in tongues, that's the difference between you and an unbeliever. Now, what differentiates you between an unbeliever that speaks in tongues? A lot of people speak in tongues. In fact, you'll be wondering, what's speaking in tongues? Speaking in another language. That's the meaning of speaking in tongues. But the only difference is that when you speak in tongues as inspired by the Holy Spirit, then you are speaking mysteries. The Bible says that when you speak in tongues, you speak mysteries. So at the end of the day, if you are speaking in tongues as inspired by the Holy Spirit, it would help you pray some things that you can, your flesh, your normal self can pray. That's how the Spirit of God inspires us to speak in tongues. So when you are speaking in tongues, don't just see it as speaking in tongues. Let's speak in tongues. When you speak in tongues, identify that it's the Holy Spirit that's speaking in tongues through you. So when you are speaking in tongues, it's a constant reminder that the Holy Spirit is praying through you. That's a way to go spiritually. And of course, the kind of people you move with, there should be people that will help you. You know, the atmosphere, the kind of songs you listen to, those things have a way of just rubbing off on your prayer life. You know, those things want to make you feel like praying more. Those things want to make you feel like hungry for God for more. So that's basically all I have to say now. But basically, I would love to add that it's the Holy Spirit that teaches us all things. And the Holy Spirit, I like to pray this prayer because the Word of God said that it will teach us things to come. So, but all these things takes sacrifice and time. It's not something that happens or just jumps on you. It's something that would take you a lot of sacrifice and time. And trust me, it will be worth the while. Till I see you next week. I met Debbie and the godly thick woman with a sense of purpose. Bye.